Afternoon everybody, and welcome to another of my videos in the road to Waterloo. This is a chance to get out each one of the units that are going to be featuring in the Waterloo game that's coming up. And today is the turn of some of the British infantry. This is my units that represent the 3rd British Division. It is slightly under strength. There should be 4 KGL battalions, and you can only see 3 here, and one of those is actually a cheat. It's actually a Hanoverian light. And indeed in this Hanoverian brigade there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 battalions, of which I've only got 4, including that one there. So we're 1 Hanoverian battalion and 2 KGL light battalions short at the moment, and unfortunately I don't think they will make it to the table before Waterloo, so they'll probably be fielded as this 2-3 battalion brigades for the Hanoverians and the KGL, and then 1 British brigade, which is at full strength. And the division has 2 foot artillery batteries, a Lloyd's battery and the KGL battery, and we've got one of those on the table. I will have the second one. I do have the second one, but that's packed away in a box, buried away deep in the darkest recesses of my collection, so it wasn't immediately to hand today, so I won't get that one out. I will do a second part of this video and give you a view of the 5th British Division, which we have all of the units of, including a full Hanoverian brigade for that one. Alright, let's start with the Hanoverians for a change. So this is the 1st Hanoverian brigade, and there should indeed be 5 battalions here. And they're all really just recruits, to be honest, and they were in the process of changing their uniforms from traditional British red into green uniforms, and some of them were in the process of transition, but at the moment I've done them all either green or red. So what we've got in front of us is, let's check, I don't know whether I put the battalion names on the bottom of these. No, I didn't, but I think this is the Lundberg battalion. These figures are perimetals, all done in the same dark green colour I use for all my British sourced light units. These ones have got flat caps, which I think makes them stand out a bit. A nice unit there. Now they've got a support of a unit of Jaegers. These are, you might probably spot them, the plastic Perry riflemen, just done up with blue trousers to represent their Jaeger uniform. Sometimes I also deploy these Jaegers as the final company in the Brem Hanoverian battalion. So this is actually the battalion that's sitting behind them. So they occasionally will deploy like that, because this unit was in the process of transitioning and had a couple of light companies in amongst it. So I'll probably play them at Waterloo as the Jaeger company that supported this Hanoverian brigade. So then we move on to the rest of the plastics. This is Perry Plastics British Infantry, done with the Peninsular Shakos, as they were the ones that the Hanoverians wore. And this is the Brem Infantry Battalion, and they are supported by this 2nd Battalion, which is the Verden Hanoverian Infantry Battalion, flanked by GMB. So we got 2 battalions of plastics in the rear, and 1 battalion of perimetals in the front, representing Lundberg, and I've just put one of my random brigadiers in here to represent the brigade commander. Right, let's move on to our 2nd brigade. These are also KGL. I went through a phase of painting Perry Plastics. I think I picked up a whole lot cheaply from eBay. So these ones became KGLs. Originally I just did a couple of KGL command stands, and I used to swap them out with some of my British infantry brigades, infantry battalions, so I could play them as KGLs, and in the end I've decided to expand the battalions to full strength. So these ones, you can see I did them in a slightly different style. You put the Hanoverians next to the KGL, you can see I've painted them at different times. The highlighting on the Hanoverian trousers is much paler, and I've and it made it much more distinctive on these KGLs. And I think just given how dark the figures are, I wonder whether I did these in a black undercoat, whereas I probably did the KGL in a grey undercoat. So anyway, these colours actually I think come out much more vibrantly with that bigger colour contrast. And I think I prefer my KGLers to my Hanoverians. The uniforms and the straps are all more sharp and marked out, and they have that much clearer black lining around them than they do when you've done it in the lighter colours. The command stands are, it's got a bit bent, that's from being in its box. Command stands, so let's take another look at the command stand. Command stands are metals, and the rest of the figures are plastics. Okay, so that will be the, isn't it, the 5th and the 8th line battalions in the KGL. There's the second one, exactly the same, painted in exactly the same way at the same time. And again with GMB flags. And then uniforms are pretty much identical to the Hanoverian lights. So this actually is a Hanoverian light battalion, I think the Osnabrück battalion, but I tend to use it as the 1st or the 2nd KGL light, just to make the KGL brigade a bit stronger, a bit more robust. Again, these ones are Perry metals, painted in the same dark green as the other troops. We got a divisional command stand. That's actually one of my 5th Infantry Division brigade commanders, but I do tend nowadays to use my round-based figures as divisional commanders. They don't actually play a role in general army, but I tend to use the divisional commanders as the figures that represent the players who are playing the game on the day, and then we'll group the brigades under them. Okay, and then I've got a brigadier in with this brigade. And then finally, we move along to the British. These are, I'm sure you've seen these before, these are all Perry metals. And they represent the 4 battalions. In the British Infantry Regiment, in the 3rd Infantry Division. And just remind myself what they are without picking up all the bases. So you've got, with the yellow trim, the 30th foot, and then we have the 69th and 73rd foot, both in the green, and then in the red and white we have the 33rd foot. And as I say, they should have 2 foot artillery batteries here. Just got one out for today, but I do indeed have the 2 foot batteries. So again, I think it nicely shows that the British infantry divisions at Waterloo were far from it. This particular British infantry division actually is 2/3 German, a 3rd Hanoverian, a 3rd KGL, and a 3rd British. And we should remember that the KGLs were pretty raw here. The actual infantry battalions had been disbanded after their service in the peninsula, and were re-raised, I believe, for Waterloo, with an awful lot of new recruits joining in them. So there was quite a lot of dilution in terms of the quality of some of the battalions, especially the line battalions that fought in the KGL brigades. So there we go, the 5th Infantry Brigade, the 2nd KGL Brigade, and then the 1st Hanoverian Brigade. Alright, I'll now get the 5th Infantry Division out, a more elite division perhaps, and we'll just do a bit of compare and contrast. Okay, and here's the 5th Division under the redoubtable General Hill with its infamous umbrella. So here you can see we've got a British Brigade, a 2nd British Brigade, and a Hanoverian Brigade. All of these ones are at full strength, so it's the 5th Hanoverian and the 8th and 9th British Infantry Brigades. Again, we'll start with Hanoverians. So these ones, unlike the last ones you saw, which were all Perry plastics, these ones are all Perry metals. These ones are a mixture of guys in the flat caps and the more traditional peninsular shakos. And you can see we've got 2 battalions with yellow facings and yellow flags from GMB. These are all speculative. There's, I don't believe, any evidence of what flags, if any, the Hanoverians carried at Waterloo. I've used the GMB ones, as they're quite attractive. And here's the second 2 battalions of the brigade, again, all metals, all done at 1 to 20th scale. I think these battalions are about 500 strong, so 5 bases for both of them. Alright, then let's move along to the 9th British Brigade. So we've got 2 Highland battalions in here. So we've got the 92nd, I think, and apologies Scottish viewers if I get this wrong, I think that's the Cameron Highlanders. No, Gordon Highlanders, sorry. Apologies to everyone. The 92nd Gordon Highlanders, look at those. Always a joy to paint the tartans. These ones were painted by my mate Kevin. Some painted by me in a second. Then we've got the 1st Royal Scots, another good strength battalion. This one's 6 bases strong. No, 5 bases strong. This is the Royal Scots. Then we've got the 44th. So I'm going to try and get that in shot. These are the Essex. And then we've got the 42nd Highlanders. Let's just, yeah, 42nd. 42nd Highlanders. Again, these are mainly Perry's. Although the command stand was the first unit of the division I got, and I actually bought that command stand on its own from eBay and then painted up all of the remaining Highlanders. So that's our 9th Brigade, and then we'll move on to our 8th Brigade. Another Highland regiment. '42nd. Strong battalion here, 6 bases strong. And I think it is the 32nd behind them. These are the Cornwall Regiment. Play with these or not. And then my local regiment, the 28th Gloucesters. And then we have the 95th Rifles in their dark green. Again, this division was supported by 2 artillery batteries, again both foot batteries. It's the same one I had out for the 3rd. So I do have, sorry about the fingers, all the necessary batteries for this division as well. So there you go, quick overview of the 5th Division, marching with its colleagues from the 3rd. British infantry divisions to Waterloo. And even this one, with its much stronger British component, only takes that overall average of these 2 British divisions to 50% British troops, including many Irish within the ranks, and 50% Germans from Hanover, either in the King's Germans Legion or in the Hanoverian Brigades. Right, I hope you enjoyed this video this weekend. No game, as I said in my earlier videos. Apologies about that, but I've actually had a real gaming day this weekend, and that's been a real pleasure. So sorry, apologies guys, that means a bit less YouTubing, and fingers crossed, although it will reduce the YouTube volumes, we'll all get out and can do all a bit more gaming for ourselves over the next few weeks. Alright, cheers everybody, hope you've had a great weekend.